Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, I have another wonderful, amazing guest for you guys with a truly goosebump-inducing story. I got connected to this wonderful lady, Eleanora Grace, to our good common friend, Stephen Gillen. We had a chat about 2 weeks ago. We were supposed to talk for half an hour. It went for 2.5 hours, and we couldn't stop talking. There was so much to talk. And just a little nutshell about her. Wow, I don't know where to start. Originally from the Philippines, born in the Philippines, then moved to Africa, to Zambia, where she lived for 12 years. And then she's been living around the world. Now, currently, she's based in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. And she's a very accomplished lady. She has a book that is being turned into a TV series, a memoir, and it's in pre-production, which will start next year in 2026. Well, in a couple of months from now, and yes, a lot that we can talk about it. But in a nutshell, there's so much. As I told her, me and you, Eleonora, we're gonna do more than one episode because there's so much to talk. For example, one of the most tragic things she had to go to was back in 2018, her son committed suicide at the age of 14. That's something that I wouldn't wish, not even to my worst enemy, and she had to go through that. And she's been very strong, very powerful in a way, and also very enlightened to see that for a beautiful gift and the beautiful gift that this presented offered her. And now she's embracing that, and that's one part of her journey and what she does. Other thing is, of course, she has multiple books. One book she's currently working on is about breaking generational curse and building legacy, about helping people to never compromise their happiness, not depending on anyone, listening to the screaming soul. I like that, to the screaming soul. And she specializes in emotional intelligence. She's a licensed human rights consultant. She has a podcast called The Voice of Truth that she started in April of this year. She's a globetrotter, sought-after speaker. She's flying she's going to be in Dubai from the 21st to the 28th of November, and then in Mexico City in early December. So she's always on the go. So much to talk about, and that's just a nutshell. There's so much more. So without any ado, Eleonora, my dear friend, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Payman. Thank you very much.
Pleasure's all
I'm
mine.
happy to be here.
Pleasure's all mine. So we're going to unpack all of that. Probably not all of that in today's episode because there's so much. Otherwise, it's going to be like a 5-hour marathon. But today, we're going to talk about all of these incredible things in your life. But first and foremost, tell us, for people who don't know you, who's Eleonora as a human being and as a woman?
Oh, powerful questions. I love that.
Yes.
Nobody has ever asked me that. You're the
Wow.
first one, so thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. As a powerful being, I come from a humble beginnings. And I grew up in the Philippines, as Payman mentioned it. So I grew up really, really poor. And it's like poor means like eating once a day, and
Wow.
my parents and my other three siblings, we live in a shanty house, like 20, let's say 20 by 20 feet, square foot, like it's like a tent, like you live.
How many siblings did you grow up with?
Three. Actually, there's four of us. Yeah,
okay.
In total. There's four. I'm the third born. So, yeah, and I grew up in a Mindoro island, and I was just questioning life, and suddenly I heard a voice, and I would ask the audience here if they can have an open heart and open mind while you're listening to me about this. Is also goes with spirituality, because I did hear a voice. This is how it started with me as a human. At the same time, you're asking who am I to as a spiritual being. So this blends in at a young age, and I cannot erase that happened to me and for me, and it's the main big part of my story, and that's why it's so unique and extraordinary, because it started when I was between 3 and 5 years old. I heard an angel voice that changed everything in my life.
Yeah, I remember that when we had our chat. We're going to unpack all of that in a moment. Thank you for sharing that. But first, What I like to do to have in a fun way is to start with a series of rapid fire questions to further get to know you as a person. Ready?
Ready, sir.
All right. What makes you happy?
What makes me happy is humor.
Beautiful.
Humor even in the tough times because it makes you feel alive. It brings joy in crazy moments and just light things up, you know. So that's what
Absolutely.
makes me happy. And the other what makes me happy is be humble,
Oh, yeah.
even though you have everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned humor. What makes you smile?
Cheesecake.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
I love cheesecake.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Seriously.
There you go. You're making me smile. So yeah. So a good joke would be really, really cool, but it depends where you are in different countries because sometimes you go to
Mm,
a different country, you've never been and you don't know the joke there. So of course it's not funny until you live 2 years
sure.
later, right? Then it's becoming funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let's take the happiness factor a couple of notches higher. What makes
Sure.
your heart sing? What sets your soul on fire? In a good
Ooh.
way.
What? In a good way. In a good way. Okay. So what makes my soul on fire?
Yes.
Gosh, you're burning me with these questions.
We're only getting warmed up. We haven't even started yet. So I hope you're ready.
I wish I knew what I signed up for.
Oh, too late, my friend. Too late.
All right, what makes me sing? All right, so,
What
well,
makes your heart sing and what sets your soul on fire? And make, as you said
hmm,
beautifully, what makes your soul scream in a positive way?
it's when I feel more so alive that I have helped a person in need, even though I don't have so much,
Mm,
that I did something. Because tomorrow is never guaranteed, you know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry? You know, you're the first person in 5 years who started this question with a smile. So congratulations. Usually they go like from this to this. So you're the first person. Well done. Give it
Okay.
10. That's beautiful, you know?
I love your podcast. It's really very, very good. Okay, what makes me all right
Sad and
angry, right?
angry. Yeah.
Sad. Okay, let's go with sad first.
Okay.
Is when people don't show up in my
Mm,
party. I
yes.
love people. I If they don't show, I already arrange all this because I like the energy. I get energized with people's energy. If you don't show up to my party, I get sad.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, yeah. And then I get angry when you don't really like show up on
Mm,
time.
yeah.
On time. It has to be on time or even, yeah.
That's a very excuse me, but that's a very un-Filipino thing to say. You know what I mean? Especially from Visayas. I'm joking, you know, but
Well, because I've lived in different countries, because every country, like culture, have different
of course.
time zone, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick my own.
Yeah.
For
You know, when I was in
example,
Siargao earlier in September for a conference where I was speaking, I was crazy. They say, oh, meet me, I meet you today at 9 o'clock or at 7 p.m. You
yeah,
go there, 7
yeah.
p.m. What? What's going on? Nothing. They're still sleeping, you know? You're lucky if they come
well,
tomorrow.
well, in Africa, I lived there for 12 years,
Yeah.
and people say, "Oh, I'll meet you here," and they never show up. They next show up the next day.
We call it the island time, you know? Whatever you
Yeah.
call it. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's fun. It's part of the journey. Now tell us, what scares you?
Oh, I would say I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes it's the unknown.
Mm,
And it used to be death. Then I gotten used to death because of so many people I have lost in life. It's more like the another unknown.
mm,
Yeah, another mountain to climb.
yeah. So you
Yeah,
like to be known.
yeah,
You like to be
like
famous.
yeah.
Well, you're in the right place. I'll make you famous, you know?
Thank you.
Maybe not in the world, but to your world. And that's what matters, you know? Awesome. Eleanora, what would you say is your number one personal superpower?
Ooh, my number one personal superpower. Oh, I wish you never asked me this question. Now people know my
Why?
secret. Well, okay, so I'm gonna tell you maybe one of them. I have several because I believe I'm a move. Okay, here's I can share you this one. One word, multidimensional.
Please expand. I'm not gonna let you get away that easy. No. Oh no.
You
Oh,
would stop asking. Moving on. All right, so
no, that's not an
multidimensional.
option.
I'm trying to get away from your question. So, multidimensional, it means like you have different talent and skills that you have developed over the years because I get easily bored doing one skills and I like doing many, many things. And for me, that's it gives me energy, you know, and because I
Yes.
start build and that makes me trust the unknown to get me
Mm.
comfortable with the unknown.
Isn't that part
Does
of
that
what?
make sense?
Oh, totally. I'm the same. I'm the same. I love
Okay.
starting new things. I get
Yeah.
excited,
Yeah.
but then I get bored very easily, unfortunately, and everything.
Yeah. But you get things done, even if it's new
Yeah.
things, you get things done, right? And then
Yes.
you let go of the one that you mastered, because I believe that we need to learn, you know, let's not limit ourselves like forever. Let's learn forever.
Absolutely. You mentioned laughing a few times, and you have a beautiful laugh, a smile. When was the last time that you had, the kind of laugh that literally makes you cry, your cheeks are hurting, your stomach is hurting, literally rolling on the floor? When was the last time you had such a life, such a laugh?
Oh, there's so many of them. That was probably with my kids like many, many years ago and different times. You know, I can't
Mm.
really pick one time or two times because
When was the last time?
um the last time was with my best friend was few months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. You don't want to share with us? What was that?
No, 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 that's too personal.
Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. No problem. All right. We'll get there eventually toward the end of the call, but
Yeah,
it's okay. That's a different
yeah.
story. Okay. Now, what is one thing that you used to value that you don't value anymore?
Well, I used to okay, I really value art. I'm an established artist. I
Mm.
used to sell art paintings
Oh,
in
wow.
one of them is that one in the backyard
You
in the
painted that?
background. Yes.
How long did it
Yeah.
take you to paint that?
I can finish in an hour or 2 hours. Yeah.
What?
And I build my own frame. I'm actually a carpenter too, so I build my own frames. I build tables, and in this table, my table here, I build it. You can't see it right now. Yeah, but yeah, so those are the things I used to do, building furnitures, and I used to sell them. I used to sell my artwork and I also used to sell them for fundraising, my own silent auction. I campaigned for nonprofit organization like the Terminal AIDS Patient in the Caribbean and Orphanage in Africa, to name a few.
Beautiful. Wow. So you
But
paint.
I don't do that now anymore. I'm focusing now on my book.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're very talented. That's
That's why I
amazing.
said to go back to multidimensional. Remember?
Of course I remember. How can I forget that? Especially even more now.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So moving on now, what is one thing that you did not value before, but now you're valuing more and more?
Hmm. That's the book. And also finance.
Mm,
Those two things. Writing books because I thought I never could. I wasn't worthy to write a book because of English was my second language. You know, and I forced myself to read a lot of books and different kinds of book, fiction and real, and how to tell in a dialogue as well. And then finance, I wasn't interested in before. Then I was recruited as a financial associate in some agency to learn about finance and selling insurance. So, but I also did not continue that because I get bored just keep reading. I like to build things with my hands. So Yeah, I like to move things. But I got educated with finance, so I still appreciate. So I turned that finance into blockchain. So I'm learning
Oh,
crypto
wow.
online right now, and I have a team.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Now, moving on. You enjoy traveling, don't you? Of
Yes, sir. Of course. Yes.
course. We can do an entire, not just podcast, but entire create a podcast on traveling between me and you because we both love traveling. But we'll do that another time. For now, I'd like to take you down a different type of traveling, down memory line. Go back to when you were growing up. You know, when we were kids, people around us, family, friends, relatives, neighbors, teachers, all of us
Mhm.
ask us, "Hey, Eleanora, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What does the answer to that as a little girl?
I wanted to be a pilot when I,
Really?
yes, or a
Why?
crazy astronaut, but mainly a pilot because I just the freedom of flying.
Ah.
And I bet you could relate to that. So I heard.
Well, when I was, yes, you're not wrong. Because when I was a kid, my nickname was Pilot.
Oh, see, I did a research on you, so there you go.
Really? Actually, I will tell a quick story. When I was a kid, first day that my mother dropped me at kindergarten, so she signed up for my name and all that. Then she went to work. She
Yeah.
picked me up at night, and she asked for my name. Where's payment? They were like, "There's no payment here." So, what do you mean there's no payment? I signed them this morning here. So, no, there's no payment. Show me the list. My mother asked the list of the students, and then there was no payment on the list. But at the bottom was a guy called, guess what? Pilot.
Oh,
So, bring me
wow.
pilots. That's me. Yeah.
That's good. Amazing. Well, I suggest you do it one day.
Yes, I would love to learn to fly. That's part of my on my bucket list for the next year or so.
Yeah.
Because yeah, beautiful. Now let's remain when you were a kid. What was
Mhm.
your relationship growing up with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
Mix of both. I used to love it till I went to grade 10.
What happened in grade 10?
Well, my parents went to another financial hardship that affected
Mm,
my school, and I they put me into homeschool, or in other words, correspondence school. and and I love people. I like surrounded with people. Then homeschool is just yourself. So then that's when I started hating school in general.
okay, beautiful. What was your favorite and least favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject, you mean?
Favorite and least favorite, yes.
The least favorite is French.
Why?
Wow. Do you know how hard it is to speak another language
Yes.
from Filipino, and then you have to learn English, and now you have to learn French? It hurts your brain. So I felt a lot in French. So I decided to take technical drawing, which is AutoCAD, how to design and read structures. And I was good at that. I always 90%. I was the only girl in class among the boys. So I did not go for French class. I went to a AutoCAD technical drawing, which is how to build houses, structure them, and all that stuff.
So that's you
So
use that knowledge later on to build your desk and your chair.
yeah, that's how because I love patterns, and that goes back to what my angel was saying. What he whispered to me was, watch the patterns of life.
Watch the what? The patterns?
The patterns of life.
Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And
Welcome.
that made me grow up to one of my zone genius is reading patterns of people and life. Yeah.
Okay, all that thought we're gonna talk about it in a moment, but
All right. Sounds
you were
good.
you were studying French in the Philippines?
In Africa, in Zambia,
Oh,
my
I see. Okay. We're gonna get to
university.
Africa in a moment. Yeah, I agree. French is not an easy language. French is my first language, but still, I know people that are still struggling. It's not an easy language, so well done.
Mhm.
Now, here's a fun question. Imagine
All
that
right.
we're in the same class in grade 10, grade 11. What kind of
Mm.
student, what kind of girl were you back then? Were you the shy, introvert one? Were you the chatterbox? Were you the life of the class? Who were you back then?
Shy, introvert, and an observer.
I have a hard time believing that you were shy
Yeah.
back then.
Yes, I was very, very shy. Because
Welcome to the.
of my language, I couldn't speak English very well.
Oh,
Look,
okay.
that stopped me. It was hard to create a sentence, and I hated the subject English too because of the debate. I couldn't.
Mm. So
Yeah,
that was in Zambia or that was in the Philippines?
in Zambia,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
grade 10 there, grade 8 to
Okay.
10. Yeah,
So when you were in school, were you popular with the boys?
not really.
Nah,
No,
really.
no,
Bola bola.
no, because
Joking.
that's another I had a childhood trauma,
Oh,
and
okay.
whenever I go back home, that's another topic that
Yes.
about my
Okay.
mom. Yeah.
Okay. What was your very first job? And do you remember how much you get paid the first time you worked?
The very first job as a child, you mean?
Any job, whether
Yeah.
that's as a
Well,
teenager.
I was a teenager. Yeah, I worked for my mom after school in Sacred Convent School in Africa. Then I go to her place and then never get paid, but I work for her. And then when I became an adult, I work as a assistant preschool teacher in a academy school. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you mentioned Africa. How old were you when your family moved from the Philippines to Zambia?
How old I was? I was 10 years old. Yeah,
Okay.
I was 10 years old.
Why did they move to from the Philippines to Africa?
Well, because well, the main reason is financial freedom, right? Like my
Mm,
parents were growing up really poor, and my parents applied for a job to Africa, and my dad as a as a mechanical engineering at a copper mining company. So 1990, that's when we
mm,
moved there, and they provided house for us. They provided school for us, private school, and all the medical benefits. And I've never been a private school before, and I've never been in a nice home that's actually proper home with bricks and a nice bed that is not bamboo, is actually mattress soft and
mm.
running water. Can you imagine running water from coming out of your shower and tap? You don't have to hold water from one
The
place to
bucket.
another with a bucket. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know that. You've been to
Yes, yes,
Philippines.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So I
Wow.
appreciated that. Yeah. So for us, that is rich already.
Mm.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge for you at the age of 10 when you moved to from the Philippines to Zambia? What was the biggest challenge for you to adapting to your new environment, new culture, new language?
Apart from learning the culture and apart from learning the language is adapt to the way of different kind of living that is
Mm,
not normal to me.
mhm,
And for me, I learn how to adapt and adjust, and I call it, which I teach also my client, is have an adaptability intelligence fitness, because the only constant here is change in life, and it will be good to have that ability, learn abilities, because it will be good for your communication skills with your and building relationship with in life and love and in business. Yeah.
yeah. Tell us the difference of the environment of living in the Mindoro in the Philippines versus in Zambia.
The environment is definitely the if you're just talking about just the environment, it's pretty much the same, like tropical, but you know but it's definitely in Africa, there's more dense. Like it
Mm,
makes you grow up so fast as a kid. It's not for the faint of heart, I would say. There's a lot of poverty, and yes, corruption is obvious, but you just have to get used to that, and you always have to watch your back, because you don't know whether your wallet it's there or not, or part of your backpack is open and it's already stolen. So you always have to be cautious. Yeah, always on guard.
mm. How are the people in Zambia? Were they friendly or difficult to make friends?
Very friendly, and they speak English too, so it was nice. that I don't really have to force myself to speak their language, but I needed to, especially when you go to villages and just hang out there, with some friends. But if you're in the city or town,
Mm,
people speak English, so which is pretty cool. Yeah.
okay. You know, let's move on from there. From the time you left school to now, how would you describe your path? Would you say it was pretty much straightforward, smooth sailing once you get into one lane? You were set for life, or more like a roller coaster and up turns and twists?
Well, spiritually speaking, the life
Mm,
is not linear, right? It's a
mm-hmm.
spiral or abstract. I would say more abstract because you go in your detour, like
Yes.
I went through you tough time with my parents' relationship with my mom. It was tough because she tried to sell me to human trafficking.
What?
Yeah, and I was think between 15 to 18 years old, and I protected myself and my younger sister, and my dad didn't know about this, and my other two siblings didn't know about this because we went through another hardship in life financially, and to the
Wow.
point, like I said, after school in high school, I go back to help her in a restaurant, and then there was a lot of rich men or from Dubai or China would go and stop at the restaurant, and I heard her saying like, "Why don't you buy my daughter?" And then they asked her how much, and then I pulled her to on the corner like, "Mom, what are you doing? I'm your daughter. Why are you selling me? Are you joking?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just joking, but it doesn't sound like you're joking." So it went on for 3 years, 4 years like
Wow.
that until so she almost sold us, but it was just the constant of them coming back after school, right? They would wait for you there. It made me feel like my beauty is a curse. So I started wearing like tomboyish, like I would cover my beauty. Like I thought, what's the point of being a woman if woman's always a target? I'd rather look like a boy. So I made myself look like a boy. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
You know,
So yeah, it starts at home sometimes. I couldn't believe that. I thought home's supposed to be a safe place to be, and your parents supposed to be
yes.
that safe place to be, right?
So how were
Yeah.
you able to handle all of that and not completely lose your mind or do something crazy, leave the house or commit suicide or any other crazy thing that can go into your mind, especially at that young age, seeing your parents doing something as horrible or planning to do something or talking something as horrible to you? How did you handle that? How do you manage that?
Oh, I didn't handle it well. Actually, I was a very suicidal person, and I
Wow.
did it in secret. And this is another thing that my angel again showed up in my life because no matter how much I killed myself, I woke up alive. I tried
Mm,
many different things. I tried drugs from my parents' cupboards, trying to steal that and overdose myself. She would look at her cupboard, like, "Where's my pills?" and all that stuff. And then we just blame our maid because we had a maid, at that time in that nice house,
yeah.
and I would blame the maid for so that they don't blame me, they wouldn't know. And yeah, so then I would try cut myself, stuff like that. I don't recommend it, but it happens as a teenager,
Wow.
so but the angel rescued me and I had an out of body experience. So the angel showed me my past, present, and future book of life, and that everything changed in my life. Yeah.
How old were you when you had this interaction with the angel?
I would say different ages. Sometimes it showed up to me when I was 11, the very first time I saw just the foot. But when the angel showed me my book of life, when I was very suicidal, is when I gave up on religion, I gave up on my life, is when I was, let's say, 20 years old, between
Wow.
18 to 20 years old. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And then once you finish, were you able to still to complete your education, go to university or not?
I completed my high school in Africa, but not it's not like the way here in Canada.
Mm,
And it was correspondence school, like homeschooled, right? But when I moved here in Canada, I had to repeat my high school because it wasn't considered like, good
Yeah.
enough.
How,
So when I was, yeah,
mm.
go ahead.
No, no, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
When I was pregnant with my I think second son, or no, when I was pregnant with my firstborn, that's when I repeated my high school, and because I wanted to complete
Wow.
it and be qualified here in Canada in case I want to
Mm.
get a job, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and then you left Africa.
Yes.
You
With
left.
my husband at the time. Yeah.
Okay, so you met your first husband in Africa.
Yeah, he's from Canada. He
Okay.
was a missionary there, and we got married in Africa. Within 22 days, we met.
You don't waste time,
Yeah, within 22 days. And again, the angel showed me how to manifested him too.
Yes.
So that's in the book as well. Yeah.
Wow. And then you moved to Canada when you were what, 22, 23?
When I was 22, I would say.
22. Okay.
Yeah.
And then in Canada, you said you, after giving birth to your two first children, then you went to school. Did you study in Canada?
Yes, I did. Most of them are post-secondary. I was studying while I was pregnant. I had pregnant for 2 years. I have 4 kids in 2 years, and I didn't do my math because I said
Wait, four
my
kids in
one of
2 years? How is that possible?
that's why I said, but math is no longer my favorite subject. So
Me neither, but still, hey, wait a sec. Or do you have like an
yeah,
accelerated path?
yeah, because I had twin girls. My kids are actually
Oh,
considered
I see.
Irish twins. So firstborn and secondborn are boys. They're 11 months apart, and my middle boy and my twin girls are 11 months apart within 2 years. 4 kids in within 2 years.
So so you had two, I'm confused. You
Two
had two
boys.
twins?
The boys are Irish twins because they're 11 months apart. So then my second boy, between my second boy and my twin girls, are 11 months apart as well. So twin girls and my two first boy are all Irish twins.
What is an Irish
And
twin? First time I hear that.
Irish twins means are 11 months apart
Oh, less than a
babies.
year. Oh, wow. You
Yeah.
definitely don't waste time. Why waste time? Anyways, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned that your angel.
Mhm.
When was the first time you had an interaction or intervention with your angel?
Oh, the first time, yes, of course, was when I was between 4 or 5 years old, somewhere there. And there's a story how I started the book is that I wanted to rescue my older sister from my dad because my dad was getting frustrated, asking her what is 3 times 3, helping her in our multiplication table of threes. So when it comes to 3 times 3, she couldn't answer what the answer was, and then part of me telepathically wanted to rescue her, but I didn't know the answer because I was only 5 years old. I didn't, not going to school yet. But I heard a voice said, "Do you want to go and tell her the answer, help your sister, you know the answer?" And I said, yes, in my mind. Just tell me the answer. I don't know the answer. So then the voice said, the answer is 9. Go tell your dad, tell her. And then I screamed before my dad shouted at her again many times. I said, the answer is 9, Daddy. The answer is 9. And then they both look at me and they're like, what? How did she know that? She's not even going to school. You see, your sister's smarter than you. So I thought my sister would be appreciated, and she hated me more
Of
as she
course.
remembered that.
You made two enemies now.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well done.
So from then on, I just kept quiet about my angel for the most of my life, and I only opened this up when I started writing the book. When the angel said, "Write your book," and that was in 2008, and I said, "Why would I write the book? Like, what's so special about me? I don't speak English well. Just write a book because one day it's gonna be to turn into a movie." I and I laughed at it. So fast forward 2023, I met my producer, Stephen Gillen, and he asked me that whether do I have a book, because he found my article. I was writing an article in it's a prestige magazine called
Yeah.
Brains Magazine.
Mhm.
I was writing personal growth as a certified life coach, and then he interviewed me, Mr. Stephen Gillen from the UK, and said, "Do you have a book?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And and do you wanna turn that into a TV series? I said, "Yes, please." So yeah, and now here we are. It's turning into a TV series and pre-production next year.
Wow. Congratulations. Do you have any specific date for the movie, the production?
No, we don't have yet. We're just planning to start next year, and I cannot disclose much details
Of
about
course.
it. But of
Yeah.
course, we're gonna let people know once we get there, for sure.
Wow. Wow. And then
Yeah.
another very tragic episode of your life was when you said in 2018 your son committed suicide at age of 14.
Yes, he committed suicide, and that, I don't wish that for anybody. It changes a mother. A child changes everything. Each child changes everything, but you always wish your kid would outlive you, right?
Mm.
But not everybody though. So yeah, he has really a really tough, he couldn't really express his emotions. So he gave me a gift of you know of love and how to be a better parent as well after that. And to my surprise, I thought I thought friends of my parents out there who are my friends, I thought they would judge me and or other kids would judge me, and it turns out to be the other way around, that they come for me for advice. And my other three kids brought a number of suicidal kids into my home, so they felt safe more, and they would run away from their parents and come to my home. And then I would call the parents, "Don't worry, your kid is not lost or run away. They're here with me." You know, yeah.
Wow. That's fascinating. But before talking about that, if I may, what caused your son to take his life?
Yeah. So what causes take his life is I think from my observation, because I tried to rescue him many, many times, and I did homeschool him. First, we put him when he was little, to the public school. Then I pulled him out because he was different, very, very smart, grade A students, to the top, but emotionally he struggled. But I realized later he's actually have an advanced soul that he couldn't express it to this world, how the world wants you to be limited,
Mm.
how you should talk, how you should say that. So I had that conversation with him just before he died. He expressed to me, because I started learning that he's teaching me, that I realized our kid is our teacher. So for me, he was really an advanced soul that I never realized that way. And and he was just having a hard time to express that at his age, that limited him, that he wanted a sense of control but he couldn't know how to manage that sense of control. So he started like throwing knives here and there, and threatening me that he would kill himself. There would sometimes be blood all over, drips of blood on things that he trying to scare me. Then I would try to call 911. He would grab me. He would grab the phone away from me, so I wouldn't call 911. And I was running bed and breakfast at that time as my small business, and I homeschooled the other three kids too. So it's like I'm running all over, and my ex-husband wasn't there enough. At the time we were married, and he was always away. So I became a mother and father to the kids. And, so it was tough doing this by myself, raising the kids, just mainly me. Like, yeah, it was tough. And to the point I didn't know how to be me as well. I just become the mother and the father, the mother and the father and rescuer. Yeah. To be honest, I would say, to answer your question, I don't really know what made him do that. But all I know is just that he is an advanced soul that he couldn't
Mhm.
express that after I realized it later. Yeah, when he died. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we all come here with a specific mission that we choose
Mhm.
before being born, just like in high school, when before graduating, you meet with your course counselor, say, hey, Eleanora, what do you want to become? Let's say you want to become a journalist. Okay, go to this school, go to this city. Same thing
Mhm.
for the soul. Before being born, we meet with our soul counselors and they ask us, what major life lesson do you want to master in this life? And there are apparently 30 to 35 major life lessons, and we can only master one or at most two if you're a very advanced soul, such as
Mhm.
compassion, self love, forgiveness, whatever. So, and then we choose, there's a fabulous, fantastic, fascinating book by
Mhm.
Robert Schwartz. I think I mentioned that to you before. It's called The Life You Plant, The Life Your Soul Plant Before You Were Born. Again, The Life Your Soul Planned Before You Were Born. That book was what started my spiritual awakening 5 years ago. And everything that you mentioned, we ch- we decide what major life lesson we want to master, and then there's certain exit points. Let's say
Exactly.
you
I
master,
believe that.
you
Yeah.
you complete you either complete your mission or you see that you realize that you cannot complete your mission and you exit. An exit can be suicide, for example. So,
Exactly. Yeah. I because I really you know what? I never knew those things before because I was very under the influence of religiosity to the extreme that we don't believe in that we demonize that and that affected
mm,
him. This is my observation because I was also trying to get out of religion myself. Then I had to rescue him and he was also already want to be out already. And whenever he goes with his grandma, he was bombarded with that brainwash, brainwash, brainwash. Then I confronted the grandma. It's all written in my book, and I had an argument with her, like leave us alone. But you know how religious people are. They get into your marriage, how you raise your kids. That don't do this, you're gonna go to hell. So it's bringing confusion to your kids to the point, who are you? And that's why the book here, the code of I am that I've written, who are you without these worldly identities, without all this religion? Like, can you at least question what you've been ingrained into? Because you might mislead people from their truth if you don't question everything and you just say yes to the yes. Since my mom taught me this since I was born, why don't you question that? I started questioning when I was a little girl, and but I kept quiet to protect myself from people who would tell you to go to hell. But it took me a while, but I'm here now. I found myself. Now I'm just helping people in the world how to find their own I am, their own essence of they are, so that they can be free.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when your son committed suicide after that, of course, it's incredibly tragic, painful, heartbreaking, but how did you, how did that shape you? How did that affected you as a person? Was that the start of your awakening, so to speak?
It was the most wake up call, like it was the most wake up call, never mind my own suicide or my own outer body experience or my own near death experience after I gave birth to my twins. I had 6 weeks to live and I healed in 2 weeks. Again, that's another
Wow,
story in the book about how my angel showed me how to restructure my DNA and never get sick again. So for me, my son's suicide was the most painful one because I wasn't listening. I refused to listen to the angel. I refused to listen to who I am, you know, and my truth, because I was so comfortable to the familiarity of what people think or what the religious think, and then to the point that your soul screaming at you your own voice of truth, which is you know like live your life what you came here to be, not what the world tells you to
mm,
be, not even your religion. So my soul was fighting for that. It keeps, because whatever belongs to your truth will always pull you toward to it. It will get you there. No matter how much you fight for it, it still belongs to you. So I finally gave in and surrendered, and unfortunately, through my son's suicide, I asked the angel reveal to me,
Mm.
you know, what this means. So for me, it was like learning how to turn your loss into love, your grief into grace, and your hurt into healing, your trauma into transformative journey, and turn that
Oh,
wounds into wisdom. Yeah.
beautiful. Now, after committing suicide, did your son communicate with you from the other side, whether it's your dreams or with to your angel to tell you, Mom, I'm okay. Don't
Oh
worry about it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, he did. It was like months later. I had a dream. It was so real. I didn't want to wake up.
Mm,
And he's and we living right on the lake, right? And the lake, and lake, there's no seal and sea lions in there, but I saw sea lions in there, and then the water went spiraling up, and then the heaven gates open, and this water keeps going up and up in a swirl motion, and then all the sea lions in from the lake went with it with the flow, and then I went back slowly from the dock of the by the water. I walked back slowly towards the house, and there were some deers and rabbits going towards that emotions swirling up, that going up into the heavens. So when I was going towards the house, I saw my son inside the house
wow.
having some fun time giggling with his three other siblings, and I rushed inside the house and I opened the door. I opened the door and said, "Son, you're alive, you're alive. You're here, you're finally here." And I touched him. He was perfect. He used to have braces in his mouth when he was alive, and when he smiled at me, he looked at me gently like everything stopped, and the other three kids just looked at us. And he didn't have braces. His teeth was perfect, and he was still wearing the same clothes, black t-shirt and blue jeans. And he said, "Mom, I just want you to know I'm sorry for what I have done. It's not
Oh,
your fault."
oh,
He
wow.
held me like this. He held my face. He pulled it towards him gently, and that's what he said. And then I cried and I said, "There's nothing to forgive. There's nothing to forgive. Just stay, and then we can prove to your grandma that you are alive. That you're not dead. That you're not in hell." That as she always say that we're going to hell, and because the reason why I mentioned grandma in that dream is because we had a love and hate relationship with her because of religiosity. So anyway, from there, I look at his face and I said, "Go brush your teeth." So when I said that, he kind of like allowed me to become a mom again for just one moment by
Mm.
saying, "Go brush your teeth," because I look at his teeth, it's so perfect. Then he went to the bathroom and he brushed his teeth. That's when he disappeared and said goodbye. And I woke up
Wow.
and cried, and I didn't want to wake up.
What a beautiful, I was getting emotional, I was getting goosebumps.
Sorry.
Wow. No, no, it's beautiful. No, no, don't be. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm,
You know, and then you mentioned that your angel comforted you to telling you that, hey, this is your gift to turn your grief into grace
great. Yeah.
and your pain into love.
Mhm.
When you heard that, what was your first reaction? How did you react to that?
First, I was really angry because why did the universe or God did not rescue my son but rescued me when I was suicidal? It's not fair,
Mm,
And then I got an answer to that. And then the voice of truth, I call God the voice of truth, says that did you but they answered me by asking me questions. They love
mm.
these things. So they answered me by asking me question that, did you know that your son signed up for such kind of task like this? So what did you learn from his character that he chose so that you can turn it around, and that is your mission in this world?
Wow. Goosebumps,
Yeah,
you know?
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
So here I am telling that story. It's not only that, there's a lot of experiences I have that same question that asking me, turn it around. And that's why the book is about breaking generational cycles and turn your loss into love. pain into purpose, you mess into a magnificent message.
You crop into your gold, you know?
Yes. Yeah, and at the same time, be humble, like, because tomorrow you don't know again, right? It's the unknown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Wow.
yeah.
Fascinating. Wow. And then, so how did you, of course, beyond the pain, beyond all of that,
Mhm.
whoops, how did that change your, or at least change the direction of your life, direction of your path, when you not just went to the horrible pain of losing your son, but most importantly, understanding the reason behind it and what a powerful, powerful, powerful gift that is. How did that change the trajectory of your focus and of your life?
How did it change? Is again
Change or
going back.
effect? Yeah.
How did it affect me? Well, it affected me that there's no turning back anymore. Because you start comparing it. Do you want to suffer or do you want healing and the truth? The truth. Because here's the thing. I like saying this, but it's brutal to say it, but it's the truth. Because the universe said the same thing to me, like, let me break your heart so that you can heal your soul and bring peace to your soul. But not many people want to learn to break because they are afraid that they're gonna be responsible of what they find in there. They're afraid of the responsibility, what they find inside that heart. But the heart holds the truth, and the truth leads you to your soul, and your soul leads you to your spirit. And it goes on and on and on to the point your I am is it becomes your core value. And not only that, but are you willing to embody it apart from the knowledge? Because knowledge isn't power, it's about embodiment and alignment. Embodiment is just wear it, like being part of you. You become it. You become it. It's no longer just knowledge. So that's why I said knowledge isn't power until you become it. Yeah.
Wow, it's so powerful that we have to break something, literally break you, and they call it the death of the ego. You know, breaking your we are to rebuild it even stronger,
Mhm.
more impactful, more powerful. Wow, that's
Yeah,
a
because
big.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to say.
Well, because when you break your heart, there's complete silence, and I call it the silence of God. And when you set the voice of truth or the code of I am, when you listen to that silence, you hear the voice of yourself, your highest self, and the voice of God, the voice of angels. And that when you hear that voice of truth, it's pure clarity.
And
It's all
surrender.
about clarity. Yeah. Yeah, and then that's when you know who you are. You will never, because if you knew the secret of life, you will never get sick. And I have proven that. I haven't gotten sick for over 20 years, and that's what I've been teaching now. People like, it is possible you're not gonna get ever sick again. It is possible you can look younger if you want to. You slow down your aging. Doesn't mean I'm against aging. It's just that slow down. Let's enjoy life together.
Wow,
Yeah.
fascinating. Wow. You know, there's so many things that we can cover. We will, as I said, we will do an entire collection of episodes, each part we a chapter on a specific topic, because it would not be fair to just talk about these powerful things just for 1 or 2 minutes, you know? So,
Yeah.
well, listen, Eleonora, absolutely fascinating story. Thank you for sharing that. And we're only just starting.
Mhm.
What we're gonna do now, we're gonna call it a day for today and resume our beautiful conversation another time next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
My website www Eleanora Heart, and heart is the heart of your heart, right? Your heart in your body. Yeah, .com. And then you can find me on Facebook. My name is Eleonora Heart, My Journey, or Grace Through Journey on
Mm,
LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
wonderful. I'll put all of those in the show notes. Listen, I salute you. I
Thank you.
can't wait for the second part. And you were truly there with a heart. Listen, I've been blessed to speaking with over 430 incredible human beings from around the world. But I will tell you, your story is among the most top 5, top 10 most incredible, most goosebump inducing stories. And we're only
Thank
getting
you.
started, seriously. And
Yes.
wow, I can't wait. So thank you.
Thank
Keep
you.
blessing the world with your presence, your impact, your smile, your work, with everything you do. Stay safe, stay warm, and can't wait to resume our conversation very soon. Take care, my friend. Have a good one.
Thank you very much for
You're
having me
welcome.
here.
Cheers. Bye bye.